Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jerome L. Green Performance Space. I'm Kathleen Drowan from Classical 105.9 WQXR. How many of you are here for the very first time? Yay, well, welcome. We're glad to have you here. We are extremely excited today because we have about 70, more than 70, extremely talented musicians from the New York City from the New York City Summer Arts Institute, as well as a lot of really amazing music teachers. As many of you know, we partnered with the Department of Education this year and collected through the WQXR instrument drive several thousand instruments that we are now repairing and will end up in the New York City public schools beginning this fall. This is our second drive. Do we have any of the instrument donors here today? Thank you, thank you. It's amazing. And I also want to take this moment to thank the Jerome L. Green and Sidney E. Frank Foundations for their support of the Green Space, and to our 2016 presenting sponsor, Audible.com. This program is being livecast on WQXR.org, and will be preserved for posterity. So to avoid any interruptions, please take a moment and silence your phones. But also don't silence yourself. We want you as part of the program. So clap, cry, cheer, whatever you feel like you're inclined to do, don't be shy. You are part of our excitement. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce WQXR host Jeff Spurgeon, who will kick off the show.
Thank you, Kathleen. I'm usually introduced so we can get the crying over right away. So just dry your tears. It'll be okay. We're really pleased to have the Summer Arts Institute here for the third year to showcase a very special program that is part of the New York City public schools, which doesn't get enough credit sometimes for the music education that goes on. It's a terrific program, and it exists in so many platforms across so many schools in the city. But this is a special moment. It's an off-season program, the Summer Arts Institute, but it's 8 weeks of hard work for the students involved, and this is a great chance for them to show off what they've learned and do a little performing. So, Barry Stern is the conductor of the string ensemble. We've got 20 and change young musicians here, and they're going to play for you one of Edward Elgar's early and yet most famous compositions, some of his Serenade for strings. string ensemble from the Summer Arts Institute. Barry Stearns, their conductor, will talk to him later, and if you want to see what the kids think of him, ask them after the show. I'm sure they have a few thoughts on the subject. You guys, come on up, come on up. The Summer Arts Institute recognizes classical music, as you've heard, but I think one of the most fascinating things about this place where we are in music right now is that in the 20th century, all the other kinds of music that weren't preserved became so, because classical music was preserved because you had rich people who would pay for it and it would be written down on paper. But the folk music just it either had to survive by being passed on from generation to generation, or popular art disappeared. But in the 20th century, recording technology changed, and so we had a new way of preserving music. And so we have lots more kinds of music, in a way, in the world today than we did 100 years ago. And the Summer Arts Institute, of course, recognizes that we now have all of this music as part of our lives, too. So this next piece that the clarinet ensemble is going to play for you isn't classical music, but it's classic music, and it's going to be around just as long as the Elgar you've just heard. So, the clarinet ensemble. Song, of course, made so famous because of George Martin's string quartet arrangement for Eleanor Rigby that he did for the Beatles. So the strings win again in that case, but that's just great. The Summer Arts Institute is for students entering the 8th through the 12th grades. And the disciplines are music, instrumental music, and as you're about to hear, vocal music, and dance, and theater, and visual art, and some filmmaking, too. Did I leave anything out? That's everything, right? Dance, music, visual art, film, yeah, and theater, yeah, okay. And all the students have to apply, either by portfolio or by performing for the people who manage the Summer Arts Institute. And the program takes place at the Tony Bennett, at the Frank Sinatra School of the Arts. It's not, I don't feel terribly bad about that mistake. The school is in Tony Bennett's hometown in Astoria, and he is one of the school's major benefactors. And inside that high school is the Tony Bennett Concert Hall, which is a beautiful space. So the kids have a great place to go to learn and study together. It's a terrific facility and a very special part of the New York City arts education scene. So now we have a group of vocalists from the Summer Arts Institute here. My goodness, there are a lot of you. And you came in so quietly. So you're going to present us with a tune that is associated with Tony Bennett, too. So here they are. The vocal ensemble with Dr. Joseph Bartolozzi taking care of the accompaniment. We thank you, sir. Sarah. Don't go. Don't go, Sarah. Don't go. Don't go. And I think we're joined by, yes, she's coming up, a couple of the students from the Summer Arts Institute. You are?
I'm Sarah Pepst
And you go to school?
at Tottenville High School on Staten Island.
Very good. And you are?
My name is Francesca Reedy,
And you go to school?
Tottenville High School in Staten Island.
Okay, so you guys know each other? Yes. Okay, good. It seemed likely, but you could never tell. So you play clarinet, but that is not all you play.
No, it is not.
I will ask a broader question. What other instruments do you play?
I also play the bass clarinet, the bassoon, and the saxophone.
Which do you like the best?
The clarinet.
I'm glad you didn't say bassoon, because does anybody like the bassoon other than you?
I don't think so.
But it's very important. God bless people who play the bassoon. They can't get any fame. Sarah, how long have you been singing?
I started, when I was little, but I started doing choir stuff, my freshman year of high school.
Oh, so not so long, because you're going to be
I'm going to be a senior.
senior this year. How did you find out about the Summer Arts Institute?
I found out about it from a friend of mine who had done it for a couple of years, and he thought it would be really good for me to do it.
What was your friend's name?
His name was Brendan.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't Francesca, because We could have told the story a lot more quickly that way. What's a typical day like at SAI?
We start up right away at 9 o'clock, and we go all the way to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I mean, we're just working all day. We get a lot done. We do like a week's worth of work in one day because it's only a 4-week thing, so we need to do everything very quickly.
Good. I was just listening carefully because it sounds like you worked very hard. But you're okay with the amount of work that you're asked to do.
I mean, it gets stressful at times, but they push us just because they want us to do well and like reach our full potential.
Sure, and often you have to push people a little beyond what they're comfortable with in order to get them that far. So is the instrumental program as hard as the vocal program?
Yes, it is definitely challenging.
So, but you guys have to also practice too. I mean, the vocalists can sing their parts on the train a little bit, but you take a bassoon out on the subway and people are just gonna run away from you.
Yeah. When we get to the program, we have to warm up. We do long tones and we get our sound going, and then after that we play, and then we break out into the chamber groups, which you just saw, and then we come back and we play, and then we go to lunch and then we play again. It's basically just all day playing, and it's very intensive, and it's definitely nothing like you get in school. Whether you go to performing arts high school or public school, it's all music. There's no academics. It's all music, so it's very, very challenging.
And also you guys, Tottenville, Staten Island, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
So we'll edit that out later. Don't worry. Don't worry. We can take all that stuff out. But my point is, you have a long commute in the morning.
From Staten Island, yeah, the bus. We take a yellow bus.
Yeah, how long does it take?
Like 2.5 hours.
Lots of students in New York City go to high schools that aren't necessarily in the places where they live. And there are kids who are doing commutes that adults would not envy. And I think that we've gotten some indication that you may have some sympathizers here. Thank you both very much for a little insight into the program. We understand you are rigorously worked. You will be worked more during this program. But thank you both. Thank you, Sarah and Francesca, very much. Yeah. Now a group of instruments that I have not yet insulted, but it's early in the program. Where's the flute ensemble? Are they ready to come out? Because I think we're ready to have them. So we have a group of flute students, and there's no need to introduce the piece because it's one of the best-known songs that we have. And like a couple of those really best-known songs, we don't know who wrote it. But it's just part of us. It's just part of who we are. So, flutists from the Summer Arts Institute. Wonderful. That tune, it's so beautiful on any instrument, any instrument, except possibly the bassoon. Those students, of course, made the best instrumental choice because what's easier to carry than a flute to school? It's funny, you'd think that you'd hear about them being lost more, right? Because you'd just leave them. No, it's the cellists who leave their instruments in cabs. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what seems to happen. Next, we have the string ensemble returning again with another great piece of American music from the 20th century. And this time they'll be led in their performance by their assistant conductor of this program at the Summer Arts Institute, Carissa Rouse. Jazz in Strings, Mood Indigo by Duke Ellington from the string ensemble of the Summer Arts Institute. Vocalists now back on stage. The program at the SAI is broad in its reach. So we've had music from the 20th century, popular music, a little bit of classical. This is also classical music, but reaching back before anybody used the term that way. This is Gloria by Guillaume Dufay, who was one of the Flemish composers. So he was active, living, working in the 1400s. So I'm guessing, have you guys sung any stuff like this before? You did some little bit here. Good. I know that my first exposure to early music was through choral singing in school as well. So I'm glad you guys have gotten the introduction. All right. So way back in time now, from the Summer Arts Institute.
Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria Deo, 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 Gloria
Terrific work by a vocal ensemble from the Summer Arts Institute. And we have some more music, but we want to tell you a little bit more about the program. And so, here to join me on stage at the Jerome L. Green Performance Space is the artistic director of SAI, Margot Fott. Lovely to see you again.
Thank you. You as well. Year 3.
Yes, year 3 for this program here at WQXR. How many students are in SAI?
This year we have a top number, close to 400 students, which is very exciting and very full.
When do you begin selecting them? When do they start submitting or auditioning?
The process begins, applications open in December, and there's a long application, a written application that they must complete, including their personal statement, recommendations from teachers, and then they are given an audition time. Everyone that submits a complete application is given an audition time, which is in February usually, depends on the school calendar. And this year we auditioned around 1,000, a little over 1,000 students. So unfortunately we couldn't take everyone, which is the bad news. The good news is we have wonderful kids and the desire.
Right. How do you determine what the students will do? You're the artistic director. Do you choose repertoire? How do you decide what's going to happen?
We have amazing teachers, Department of Education teachers, dance specialists, theater specialists, music specialists, obviously, all licensed in their art form, visual artists. So we have those teachers as well as cultural partners that work with us hand in hand, developing curriculum. So it's really a group process. We also have an executive committee, which is through the Office of Arts and Special Projects. So we all meet and have open conversations and planning about the work that's going to be selected and shown and worked with.
How much do you worry about sort of integrating what the dance people do? Do you try to figure out a way for the music people to participate in what the dance people? I don't know if you worry about that too much or if it's important.
We try not to worry, but we do. We try not to worry. There are some collaborations at times. If it's organic, it happens. It seems we've had some years more than others. So it's so intensely busy within a month's time to produce this work. The students also get a semester's credit for it, so it's accredited. We're an official Department of Ed summer school. So the collaboration part is tricky just because their time is limited, and everyone's really trying to do as much as they can in their art form. But there's some beautiful collaborations when it happens. This year, we have a couple of small collaborations, but nothing big. Although in the finale at the program, which is next, our big finale celebration next week, we do have a finale that includes everyone coming on and taking a bow and owning that they did great work, which they do.
We're hearing a lot of music, but I want to ask you about the theater and the dance and the film. So the kids make 1 or 2 films, I suppose, each of them, and what happens in the theater department? Do they put on a show?
Yes, they do. In fact, last night, the middle school theater students had a black box performance at Frank Sinatra School of the Arts. Tonight is the theater performance in the black box, and they do scenes, and then a big group number. We've added, as well as monologues and scenes, musical theater, so that's a component that we didn't have many years ago. We're 15 years old, so we're very excited about that as well. Also, as we speak today, we have the whole choir of vocal middle school is at the Queens Botanical Gardens performing at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The dance students are doing their black box performance. We have smaller performances in the atrium. All of these students that you're hearing today will be performing with their studios. So everyone has a smaller performance, and then the big extravaganza is next Wednesday at 10 and 7 at Frank Sinatra.
Right. I've seen one of those programs, and they are terrific. They are terrific. Thank you so much, Margot Fott.
Thank you so much.
All right. A piece of music written by Nicholas Contorno. It's called Geometrics. The Flutists once again. Terrific. The flute ensemble from the Summer Arts Institute. Great job, you guys. Nice flute crop this year at SAI. That's great. Let's see, what's happening? You guys are going, I think, right? Okay, all right. Right. We loved having you. But we have the clarinets returning now. Now, in a few minutes, we're going to hear some more vocal music, too. And we'll have the strings back for another performance, too. But once again, come on up, you guys, come on. Clarinets are here, once again, with a piece from a suite of music called Sound of the Sea. So. Very sweet stuff. Thank you all. That's wonderful. Fun to hear all those instruments at one, in different voices with the same instrument. I need a cellist. I need Yusra. So one of the other musicians is going to step on stage from the Summer Arts Institute. I should mention, too, that to apply to become a student at the Summer Arts Institute, you need to be entering the 8th or 12th grade next summer, and you need to go to schools.nyc.gov, and on that page you can find a link to the Summer Arts Institute and some information about the program. Yusra Cherif, hello.
Hi, I brought my cello because I didn't want to lose it, so. In case, yeah.
Okay. You win already. We've just started and you win. Where do you go to school?
Fort Hamilton High School.
Right. And the cello is your first love musically?
Sure, we could say that.
Would it be true?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But it wasn't the instrument you started with.
No, I started playing violin.
How old were you when you started?
I was 13.
And when did you make the switch?
Freshman year of high school.
When did you start playing?
I started playing in 8th grade.
Oh, so just 1 year?
Yeah.
What's wrong with the violin?
Do I really need to tell you?
That's 2 points. That's beautiful. That's just fabulous. So what has the Summer Arts Institute brought you? How's it going and what are you getting from it?
Experience, which is awesome because you have to practice a lot,
Musical instruments are so annoying that way.
Yeah, it doesn't just come to you, It's like some people are born with it, some people have to work with it. Luckily, I was born with it, so. Yeah.
So how has that discipline of practice been? Has that been a struggle for you?
Sometimes I'm awesome. I play the part and I'm like, wow, how did I get that so fast? Right. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm not meant to be a musician. But I mean, in reality, I am. Let's just be honest. So.
And so it's not hard because I find it just hard to sort of maintain the discipline. And young people today are extremely busy, even when they're not on their phones. So there's a lot to do. But come on, you guys, people your age are often scheduled to a T. So how do you make time? Do you just have it as a part of your routine and it's, I've got to sit down and do this?
Well, I have a schedule, so hair flip. So I go to SAI in the mornings, and then I leave in the afternoon. I go to work, and then right after work, I work at a day camp, by the way. Yay, children. And I practice right when I get home after I've had something to eat. Yeah.
Right, so it just becomes part of the routine. Well, thank you. Yusra Charit, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you. Yeah. I'm going to bring back Sarah Pabst, with whom we spoke a few minutes ago, but she's going to offer you a selection on her own. This is a song by Max Reger, and it's called Waldeinsamkeit. Wald being woods, and einsam being a sort of feeling of loneliness or loneliness. So it's that special sense you get when you're in the woods alone, in a good way. Not in the lost or there's a bear nearby way, but in a good way. So, Sarah Pabst. That was lovely. No. Go take another bow. That was so nice. Take another bow. Thank you. I presume she'll forgive me for chasing her back out onto the stage again. But that was a beautiful song. All right. Now I need Mr. Stern and Ms. Rouse, both. So we're going to let the strings wrap up this particular display of the Summer Arts Institute at the Jerome L. Green Performance Space for this year. But before we do, a couple of words with their instructors, Carissa Rouse, assistant conductor, and Barry Stern. Carissa, you work in the school system. How?
I am one of the cultural partners with SAI through Midori and Friends organization.
Excuse me, I'm just step around you this way. Sorry. And Barry, you're a teacher.
I am. I'm the orchestra director at Fort Hamilton High School in Brooklyn.
So you get to see kids like this all the time. What's different about the Summer Arts Institute?
The intensity, the immersion, the 5 hours a day that they're playing their instruments. If we could only have that during the week. It's a remarkable experience to see how they grow in just those 4 weeks. And the opportunities that we have to do things with them that we wouldn't necessarily get to do in a 43-minute period every day.
So this asks you to raise your game somehow, I presume?
It just makes the game longer. I don't like to change the game. I think the game is, maybe sometimes how you play the game. Game sounds horrible, but it's I generally don't change the way I do things, and not even here, and I think my students would agree with that. It's not, I do what I do, and whether it's 5 hours a day or one.
And Ms. Rouse, what is your work with the Midori Foundation outside SAI?
Outside SAI, I am at PS 180 in Harlem in Manhattan, and I'm also at PS 310 in the Bronx. I run violin programs for 3rd through 7th graders.
Right. So what would you say about the Summer Arts Institute as distinct from your other work?
I love the Summer Arts Institute. The high schoolers that come to us are amazing kids. And I love working with Barry, who's my buddy. And he gets to do the classical side of things, really focusing on that. And I do the non-traditional improvising kind of stuff with the kids. And it is an intensive immersion program where they get to explore. And every year you see light bulbs go off and you see them grow and you see them expand their possibilities.
So I would imagine that there are kids for whom the classical stuff feels very natural. And then they come around to you and are asked to do some entirely different things.
Absolutely. Last year we did Tchaikovsky's Serenade for strings, and I always joke and say that I get more tears on improv day than I do on Tchaikovsky any day of the week. But it's good because they get to be put in new positions, and it opens up all sorts of possibilities for the music they can do later.
Helping students to discover themselves. It's just great.
Get them out of their comfort zone.
That's right. That's
the important thing.
That's right. Well, let's do that right now. What do you say? Absolutely. We'll have them play some for us. So thank you, Barry Stern and Carissa Rouse. Congratulations for your work, too. So we'll conclude today with a performance of some of the Third Brandenburg Concerto of Bach. So this is just all strings on this piece, but you'll still get to hear those wonderful 3-part tunes that Bach put into this work, little groups of 3 trading conversation all the way through the piece. The string ensemble from the Summer Arts Institute in the green space. Wonderful work by the string ensemble of the Summer Arts Institute. The opening movement of Bach's Brandenburg Concerto No. 3. That was wonderful. That was wonderful, all of you. And we should point out that it was performed without a conductor. So Barry Stern was idling by. And Carissa Rouse was part of the ensemble. Well, with that, we conclude today's musical performances. I want to mention two things. One is we are very grateful for the attendance today at this program of the Summer Arts Institute of the Director of Music for the New York City Department of Education, Barbara Murray, is here with us today. So we're very pleased that you attended. Thank you so much for your attention to and support of the Summer Arts Institute. I want to mention, too, that New York City public school students are the recipients of instruments from WQXR's 2 instrument drives. We have some people in our audience today who are donors of those instruments, and we are so grateful. And you can see here how instruments donated begin to change people's lives, exposing young people to the opportunity to make music and discover all the lessons that come with that. And so, that donation, a simple act on the part of a single listener, thousands of single listeners, is making a huge difference and will continue to do so as those instruments are used through years to come. So we're very grateful for that. Thanks to the staff of the Summer Arts Institute, to Margot Fott, the artistic director, the conductors and teachers who are here today, Barry Stern, Dr. Joseph Bartolozzi, and Carissa Rouse, and to everyone associated with the organization. We are so pleased to have you all here. I remind you once again that if you'd like to apply for the Summer Arts Institute next year, you have to be entering 8th through the 12th grade, which leaves out most of you in the audience here. And you have to go to schools.nyc.gov and search for Summer Arts Institute, and perhaps you can be part of this program next year. Thank you all for performing and attending today. Thank you.